Be honest with me for a second. Have you ever raised your voice at your child? Maybe it was after a long, exhausting day. Maybe they wouldn't listen no matter how many times you asked. And before you knew it, you snapped. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. Every single parent has been there. But here's what most parents don't know. In that moment when you raise your voice, something very specific is happening inside your child's brain. And once you understand what that is, it will genuinely change the way you see those moments forever. So let's talk about it. To understand what yelling does, we first need to understand one tiny part of your child's brain called the amygdala. Think of it as your child's personal alarm system. Its one job is to detect danger, and when it senses a threat, it fires. Now here's the thing. Your child's brain cannot tell the difference between a parent yelling and actual physical danger. To that little alarm system, loud, angry voices feel like a threat, a real one. So the moment you raise your voice, your child's amygdala fires off a stress response, flooding their tiny body with cortisol. That's the stress hormone. And when cortisol floods the brain, something important gets switched off. The thinking part of the brain, the part responsible for listening, learning, understanding, and making good decisions, it goes offline, which means the exact moment you're trying to teach your child something important, they literally cannot process what you're saying. Their brain has gone into survival mode, and in survival mode, the only options are fight, flight, or freeze. That's why some kids start crying, some shut down completely, and some actually start yelling back. It's not defiance, it's biology. Let's make this real for a second. You ask your 4-year-old to clean up their toys, they ignore you. You ask again, still nothing. And then on the third time, you raise your voice. Immediately, one of three things happens. They burst into tears, they run away, or they suddenly start arguing with you even more. Sound familiar? Here's what's actually happening in each case. When a child bursts into tears, and that's the freeze response, their nervous system is overwhelmed. When they run away, that's flight. They are physically trying to escape what their brain has registered as danger. And when they argue back or throw a tantrum, that's fight. Their stress response is so activated that they can't contain it. None of these responses are your child being difficult on purpose. They are automatic, biological, and completely beyond their control in that moment. Now, occasional moments of frustration happen in every family. That's normal and human. But research tells us that when yelling becomes a pattern, when it happens regularly, the effects on a child's developing brain go much deeper. Studies from Harvard's Center on the Developing Child found that children who experience chronic stress at home, including frequent yelling, show measurable differences in brain development. Specifically in the areas responsible for emotional regulation, memory, and learning. What does that mean in everyday terms? It means children who are frequently yelled at can struggle more with controlling their own emotions as they grow up. They may find it harder to concentrate in school. They can become more anxious or more aggressive than other children their age. And here is one of the most heartbreaking findings. Children who grow up in homes with frequent yelling often develop what researchers call a heightened stress response, meaning, over time, their alarm system becomes so sensitized that even small frustrations trigger a big reaction. They become more reactive, more emotional, harder to calm down, which often leads to more yelling from parents, which leads to more reactivity from the child. It becomes a cycle. And the hard truth is that children don't need perfect parents, but they do need safe ones whose voices feel like comfort, not threat. So what do you do instead? Especially in those moments when you are at your absolute limit. Here are 3 things that actually work, and that you can start using today. Number 1, lower your voice instead of raising it. This sounds counterintuitive, but it works. When you speak more quietly, children actually pay more attention. A calm, firm, low voice signals safety, and a safe brain is a listening brain. Try it next time. Get down to their level, look them in the eyes, and speak slowly and quietly. You will be surprised at how quickly they respond. Number 2, Name what you're feeling before you react. When you feel that frustration rising, pause and say it out loud, even just to yourself. I am feeling really frustrated right now. That single act of naming your emotion activates your own prefrontal cortex, the thinking brain, and gives you just enough space to choose your response instead of reacting automatically. Some parents find it helps to actually tell their child too. Mummy is feeling frustrated right now, so I need 1 minute. This also teaches your child that emotions are normal and manageable. Number 3, repair after difficult moments. If you do lose your temper, and sometimes you will because you are human, repair it. Come back to your child when everyone is calm. Get down to their level and say something simple like, I'm sorry I raised my voice. That wasn't fair to you. I love you. Research shows that repair after rupture is actually one of the most powerful things a parent can do. It teaches children that relationships can survive hard moments, that they are loved even when things go wrong, and it models the kind of emotional accountability you want them to develop themselves. Here's what I want you to take away from this video. Understanding what happens in your child's brain when you yell is not about making you feel like a bad parent. Because you are not a bad parent. You are a tired, human parent who is doing their best. This is about giving you the knowledge to do things a little differently. One moment at a time. Because every time you choose to lower your voice instead of raise it, every time you repair after a hard moment, you are literally shaping your child's brain in the most positive way possible. And that matters more than any perfect parenting moment ever could. If this video helped you, please subscribe to Little Minds Hub. We post new videos every week about child development and parenting advice that actually makes sense. And share this with another parent who needs to hear it today. I'll see you in the next one.